Unveiling Strong Delusion, Video 24, Makhpela and the Hittites. Sarah's burial place. Abraham buried Sarah in this church in the sepulchre he bought from Ephron. Makhpela and the Hittites. The video series skipped Genesis 22. Genesis 22, 1-19 tells the story of the binding of Isaac. The videos will address Isaac and more when we arrive at the story of Moses and the land of Goshen. In Genesis 22, 20-24, Abraham learns of the birth of Rebekah to Milcah, his brother Nahor's wife. This series of videos will address Milcah later in the narrative. This video discusses Genesis 23 and the story of Abraham's purchase of a burial place for Sarah. Death of Sarah. And Sarah was 107 and 20 years old. These were the years of the life of Sarah. And Sarah died in Kiriath Arba, the same as Hebron, in the land of Canaan. And Abraham came to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. Genesis 23, 1-2. Kiriath Arba means town of Arba, or city of the four. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 7153. Arba means four in Hebrew. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 703. The town of Arba. The town of Arba. Joshua and the meaning of Arba. Joshua 14:15 seems to contradict Strong's definition of city of the four. And the name of Hebron before was Kiriath Arba, which Arba was a great man among the Anakims, and the land had rest from war. Scholars tell us the Anak consisted of a race of giants. Meaning of Anak. The name of the giants, Anak, also means neck or necklace. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 6062. See Strong's Hebrew Concordance 6059-6061. Anak, a neck, another European language cognate. Oaks of Mamre. In Genesis 13:18, Abraham moved his tent and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Other translations use oaks or great trees rather than plain, as in the King James Version. The phrase an altar unto the Lord means something related to religion, such as a church. An altar unto the Lord. Abraham's altar unto the Lord. Sons of Het. And Abraham stood up from before his dead, and spake unto the sons of Het, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. Genesis 23, 3-4. Het or Het. Everett Fox in the Shocking Bible transliterates the Hebrew as Het. Genesis 23, 3. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 2845 transliterates the two Hebrew consonants as Het. Het, Hittites. Scholars tell us the Hittites derived from Het, the son of Canaan, and Canaan begat Sidon, his firstborn, and Het. Genesis 10:13. Het and Hathor, cow goddess. Biblical scholars have little to say about the sons of Het or Heth. The Egyptian goddess Hathor went by the name Het and other names. Egyptians called Hathor the Great One of many names. The milk from Hathor's udders created the Milky Way. Over time, the goddess Hathor merged into the goddess Isis. Hathor of many names and attributes. Egyptians called Hathor the mistress of heaven, the celestial nurse, the celestial cow, the mother of mothers, the mistress of life, the lady of the stars. They called her the goddess of Hetara, the third month of the Egyptian calendar. She went by the names Het-Hurt, Het-Heru, Hut-Hurt, Hetara. Mother of mothers. Hathor represented women and fertility and childbirth. Hathor became the goddess of cosmetics. Cosmetics and jewelry serve as deceptions, so men can dress like women. House of Horus. Hathor means house of Horus, which relates to time. Lady of turquoise. Hathor's titles included Lady of Turquoise, Mistress of Turquoise, and Lady of Turquoise Country. Historians tell us many Native American tribes considered turquoise a sacred stone. Indians and turquoise. Hathor with cow horns and a sun disk. Hathor. More bad art from the Crypto-Egypt, done quickly. Mother and wife of Ra. Tales portray Hathor as both the mother and wife of Ra. This theme will reappear when we arrive at Milka, the unspoken of patriarch, unspoken of because of her central importance to history and to the strong delusion. Hathor, the great menat or musical necklace. Hathor wore a musical necklace or rattle called the great menat, like the giants, the Anak. Hathor and Sekhmet, the evil twin. Before the goddess Hathor became Hathor, she had the name Sekhmet, a lion-faced goddess. Sekhmet went by friendly-sounding titles such as One Before Whom Evil Trembles, Mistress of Dread, Lady of Slaughter, and She Who Mauls. Sekhmet, punisher of mankind. Legends say that Ra sent Sekhmet to punish mankind for not respecting the gods. Sekhmet went on a frenzy of slaughter and blood, drinking that Ra could not stop. She almost wiped out mankind. Ra tricked Sekhmet. To stop Sekhmet's slaughter of man, Ra colored barrels of beer red with hematite to look like blood. Sekhmet mistook the beer for blood, drank it, and passed out drunk. When Sekhmet awakened from her drunken stupor, she had changed to the form of Hathor, the celestial cow. Metamorphosis, a theme Ovid talks about over and over, and which plays an occult role in human history. Abraham, a mighty prince. The sons of Het replied to Abraham's request, Hear us, my lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our sepulchres bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. Genesis 23:6. A future video will show that secular Abraham as a truly mighty prince who became a mighty king. Sons, brothers, religious order. And Abraham stood up from before his dead, and spake unto the sons of Het, saying, I am a stranger and a sojourner with you. Give me a possession of a burying place with you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight. Genesis 23:3-4. The word sons implies brothers. Brothers can refer to a religious order. Brothers and the serpent. The word brother has etymological roots related to the serpent, to deceit, and to language. The interested viewer can learn more about these connections in the book, The Murder of Reality, by Pierre Sabak. Ephron, son of Zohar, and he communed with them, saying, If it be your mind that I should bury my dead out of my sight, hear me, and entreat for me to Ephron, the son of Zohar. Genesis 23:8. The Zohar, mystical writings on the Torah. The Zohar. The Zohar refers to works of Kabbalistic mysticism, including the mystical interpretations of the Torah, or the 5 books of Moses, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Zohar means shining or brightness. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 2096. Authors of the Zohar. Most scholars say Rabbi Shimon bar Yochai, Rashbi, wrote the Zohar around the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. Some scholars say Rabbi Moshe de Leon wrote it in Spain in the 13th century. Scholars tell us Rabbi Moshe de Leon denied writing it. Zohar, the Zohar, and Spain. Zohar, if a man named Zohar existed, lived in Spain in the Hebron Valley. The Zohar, or the people who wrote the Zohar, did originate in Spain. Abraham bought Sarah's tomb from Zohar's son, Ephron. Cave of Makhpela, or Makhpela. Abraham entreats the sons of Het to ask Ephron to give him title to the cave of Machpelah, that he may give me the cave of Machpelah, which he hath, which is in the end of his field. For as much money as it is worth, he shall give it to me for a possession of a burying place amongst you. Genesis 23:9. Abraham buys the cave of Machpelah. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Het, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. Genesis 23:16. Cave means sepulchre. Cave in Genesis 23 means sepulchre. Genesis 23:6 calls the cave a sepulchre. Hear us, my Lord, thou art a mighty prince among us. In the choice of our sepulchres bury thy dead. None of us shall withhold from thee his sepulchre, but that thou mayest bury thy dead. Sepulchre used in the New Testament. The New Testament tells us of the burial of Jacob in the sepulchre that Abraham bought. And we were carried over into Shechem and laid in the sepulchre that Abraham bought for a sum of money of the sons of Emor, the father of Shechem. Acts 7:16. Scholars and Machpelah. Scholars tell us Machpelah means a place in Hebron. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 4375. Strong's 4375 gives the phonetic spelling Makhpela. Strong's puts the emphasis on the wrong syllable, or put another way, Strong's puts the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Pronounce Machpelah aloud. Rather than breaking the letters into 3 syllables of one word, such as Makhpela, by breaking the same sounds into 2 words and 4 syllables, its meaning becomes apparent. Makhpela, my chapel, or my church. Always read aloud. To avoid entrapment in spelling, always read written works aloud the first time. For more esoteric and magical works like the Bible, read them aloud more often than not. Reading aloud reveals secrets silent reading never can. The author reads all his written words aloud to the viewer to avoid unnecessary spell magic. The church Abraham built. Then Abram removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre, which is in Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. Genesis 13:18. My chapel, or my church, the church Abraham built in Mamre. Location of Kiryat Arba. Abraham's church still exists today in the town of Malpica de Arba, Spain. The Arba River flows into the Ebro or Hebron River. The Arba River has 2 tributaries with the same name Arba, the Arba de Biel and the Arba de Luesia. Arba River in the Ebro River Valley. The Rio Arba flows into the left bank of the Ebro River in Aragon province in northeastern Spain. For those more advanced in occult knowledge of biblical practices, we can see the Gallego River just to the east of the Arba, and Martin to the southeast of Arba. Arba River in Aragon. Aragon, an autonomous community in northeastern Spain, consists of the provinces of Huesca, Saragossa, and Teruel. The Arba flows into the Ebro in Aragon, just east of the autonomous community of Navarre. Aragon in northeastern Spain. Navarre, west of Aragon. Malpica de Arba. You can see Pamplona, northwest of Malpica de Arba. Michelin map 573. Tiny Malpica de Arba does not appear in the index to the Michelin map 573, Espagne Nord or Spain North map, subtitled Basque Country, Navarra, La Rioja. It does appear near the bottom right corner of the map, near the inset for Bilbao. It lies in the E26 section, just a little above the F26 section. It lies directly south of Un Castillo. Malpica de Arba. Malpica de Arba. Malpica de Arba. History of Malpica de Arba. Malpica de Arba has a rich Roman history. Historians tell us the Celtic Suestani once occupied it. The Roman general Marcus Terentius Varro, an ally of Ptolemy, drove them out. Suestani and Swiss. Notice how the name Suestani resembles the English word Swiss. The French call Switzerland Suisse, an even closer sound connection. The Basques replaced the Swiss. Historians tell us after Marcus Terentius Varro defeated the Celtic Suestani, the Basques occupied the area. Church of Nuestra Señora del Dia Sol. The Church of Nuestra Señora del Dia Sol rises above Malpica de Arba. Iglesia de Nuestra Señora del Dia Sol, the Romanesque church in Malpica de Arba. The Iglesia de Nuestra Señora del Dia Sol has a Roman sepulchre. Abraham buried Sarah in this church. The Basque and the Hittites. The Hittites in the Bible mean the Basque. Today the Basque live in a tiny portion of northern Spain. In the past they ruled much of the area. In the time of Saul they ruled Israel. Andorra, or Endor, lies to the east, where the witch of Endor summoned the spirit of Samuel. 1 Samuel 28. Hittite, hits, promise. The word Hittite comes from the Basque word hits, which means promise or word. Basque English, English Basque Dictionary, Gorka Aulestia, and Linda White, University of Nevada, Reno Press, 1992. The Hittites kept their word to Abraham all these years. Abraham, Basque. The name Abraham and Abraham may come from the Basque language. Genesis describes Abram as very rich in cattle and gold. A number of Basque words related to wealth contain the ABR consonants. Basque ABR words and wealth: aberascari, enriching; aberasqueta, enrichment; aberaski, elegantly, sumptuously; aberastatsun, wealth, richness; aberastu, to enrich someone, to make someone rich, to become rich; aberats, rich, wealthy. Abraham, and Ayin. The names Abram and Abraham in Hebrew begin with the letter Ayin. Video 17 on the Qatar and Sephirot showed the Ayin or Eye represents the crown of the Sephirot. In Hindu, Brahman means the ultimate reality. Well-considered names have many meanings. Brothers of Het. Historians tell us around the 13th century, the Catholic Church created the Cofradia del Nuestra Señora del Dia y de Sol in Malpica de Arba. Cofradia means brotherhood, as in the sons or brothers of Het. Church of the Tomb of the Patriarchs. Brotherhood of Het, keepers of the secret. Brothers of Het and the Jesuits. The sons of Het became the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits. A Basque, Ignatius of Loyola, Ignacio Loilacoa in Hittite, co-founded the Society of Jesus in 1539. He became its first superior general, or Black Pope. Ignacio Loilacoa, or Ignatius of Loyola. The vowels in Loilacoa resemble Polynesian words. The GN in Ignatius reflects the G sound in Samoan. Brothers of Het and the Jesuits. Francis Xavier, Francisco de Hasso y Aspilicueta in Hittite or Basque, co-founded the Jesuits with Ignatius of Loyola, or Ignacio Loilacoa. San Francisco Javier, or San Francisco de Hasso y Aspilicueta by Miguel Cabrera. Peter Fabre of Savoy. A third man, Peter Fabre, Pierre Fabre in French and Pedro Fabro in Spanish, founded the Jesuits with the two Hittites. Fabre came from the Duchy of Savoy, near Switzerland, where the Swistani fled after Terence Varro routed them in the 13th century. We saw the Duchy of Savoy in Genesis 14 as the Zeboim. Duchy of Savoy. This map shows the Duchy of Savoy in southeastern part of today's France and northeastern part of today's Italy, right next to Switzerland and in it. Peter Faber, or Favre. Notice the dark skin. This may indicate his Iberian Peninsula origins. The Romans forced the Swistani or Swiss to flee Spain. Jesuits in covenant with Abraham. Earlier, the videos discussed Abraham's covenant or Berit with the Amorites in the plain of Mamre. And there came one that had escaped and told Abraham the Hebrew, for he dwelt in the plain of Mamre, the Amorite, brother of Eshcol and brother of Aner, and these were confederate with Abram. Genesis 14:13. Covenant, Berit. The Hebrew uses the word Berit or Berit for the covenant. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 1285. An earlier video on Abraham and the Amorites brothers showed Genesis 14 uses the same Berit or covenant as Genesis 15:18 for the covenant between Abram and the Amorites. Strong's Hebrew Concordance 1285. Covenant through generations. Did the Amorite brothers Mamre, Eshcol, and Aner have a covenant relationship with Abraham that ran through generations? Do the Jesuits and the seed of Abraham continue the covenant today? Thank you for watching. The next video will discuss the journey of Abraham's servant to find a wife for Isaac. Permission to copy and translate. The author permits any human being to copy and rebroadcast this video in whole or in part. The author permits any human being to translate this video into any language.